Welcome back to Fika with Jonas.
Hey guys, hope you all enjoyed episode 2 and learned a little bit about bits and the equipment that we used.
Today our focus is on shoes. Therefore, we have a special guest, the Team JC blacksmith, Dean Vandervoort.
Dean has been our full-time blacksmith for the past year, and before that he was on and off for about 2 years. And thanks, Dean, for joining us.
Thanks, Jonas. Glad to be here today.
So, Dean, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 35 years old. I've been shoeing horses for 8 years now. My family's involved with horse racing. I went to shoeing school out in Missouri at Sure Shot Horseshoeing School. I apprenticed under Jimmy Tactor's blacksmith, Connie Swenson. I worked for Joe Brando, who's worked for Jonas in the past, and that's how I got my start working for Jonas. Joe Brando got me into shoeing horses because he was extremely busy when he was shoeing our horses, and it just so happened that year we were up to 25 in our barn, and he was struggling to stay ahead, and he was looking for a new apprentice since his other apprentice had moved on to be a full-time blacksmith. So I took him up on the opportunity, and I'm glad I did because it really worked out for me in the long run. And now I actually have a full-time job working for Jonas.
Dean, we have been watching you shoe a horse. Tell us what you've been doing.
This is Explosive High that we have in the shop today. She's going to be qualifying this week, so today we'll be putting some new shoes on her. She wears a TDR half-round 9/16 styles with the Swedish green pads on them, rim pads cut out all the way around. Behind, she wears full swedges with a toe clip. I actually toe clip her front shoes too, just to help them keep them on a little bit because she has a tendency to sometimes want to push the shoe back on her foot.
All right, Dean, we have a new horse in the shop. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with this one.
Today we have Ultra Dark in the shop. She wears PG shoes. This will be a reset on her front feet today. We decided about a month ago to put the PG shoes on her because she was having a little bit of issues with her knees. So Jonas thought it'd be a great idea for her to maybe try the PG shoes on, and she responded excellent to them. So we're going to reset them this time around. And today you'll see I'm taking them off and cleaning up her feet and measuring them up to get her feet trimmed up, cleaning up everything. And I'll be resetting the pads, which will be a little bit easier of a job today since most of the hard work of trimming the plate to fit the shoe or fit the foot and everything is done already. So right now I'll just be replacing the plate and putting new nails on there and putting the pad back on with new fresh screws, and I'll be siliconing underneath them to keep some of the moisture, mud, and dirt out from under them when she's turned out in the paddock today.
Dean, I have a question for you. What is the difference between shoeing for Jonas, a Swedish trainer, versus an American or Canadian trainer?
Jonas, being a Swedish trainer, is mostly involved with the young horses, 2 and 3-year-old trotters. So shoeing is very important because a trotter that can't trot is never going to make you any money. So he's particular on what they wear and what they need on their feet and paying attention close to gait and trying to keep them from interfering with themselves. Not that American or Canadian trainers don't do the same, but the Swedish really zone in. I think it's almost in their blood with the shoeing. A lot of them know how to shoe, so they know what they want on them, where some of the Canadian trainers don't know how to shoe horses, but they know what they want on them, but they're a little bit more basic in their shoeing, and they stick to more of just the steel shoes and basic shoes.
So Dean, let's discuss some of the more common shoes that we use in our barn and why we use them. So here we got, I guess we don't really have a name for them over here. I mean, we call them the barefoot aluminum because it's really a thin aluminum shoe that usually lasts about one warm up and one race. And, that's about it. So that's just pretty much on there to protect the foot of the horse instead of going barefoot.
This is a full swedge bar shoe. I jump welded a bar into the back of it for Jonas. I think in between the week, he was looking to slow down one of his trotters behind, so we just jump welded a bar back there for him to see what would make a difference, and I think it actually helped him out. The bar shoes can be used for many purposes: sore feet, changing the pressure on a horse's feet, slowing one down. Sometimes it will change a horse's gait depending on the size and the style of the bar shoe you use.
So here we got the the flip flops, and in this particular one, we got the Queen's plate that's gonna go in the toe. So to the left, you see the full Queen's plate, and then in the middle is the full pad without the toe clip put on, and then to the right is how the product is gonna look when it's all done and going on the foot.
Yeah, it's become a very popular trotting shoe in the last few years. It seems like it's the aluminum's lightweight. It gives them a little bit of grab off of the toe. The pad puts a little weight on the back of the heels and spreads out the concussion across the whole foot. So it makes for a nice shoe for a horse that doesn't need or require a ton of weight, and you're looking for just a little bit of grab, not using a steel shoe.
So on here on the next one, we got a half-inch, half-round, what we Swedes call an open toe. I guess over here people like to call it a reverse shoe or a turnaround shoe, but as like I said, I like to call it an open toe, and I like to put that on if a horse needs to get out of the way up front a little faster, and just kind of try to speed their gait up a little bit. So here we got the last shoe. It's PG shoes that I like to use on horses that might have some knee problems, and not every horse can wear them, but I mean we try to use them for training down and everything, and then we start racing and seeing how far we can go in them, and hope that they will just help them getting over their little issues that you run into sometimes.
So we have a question from Nora who wanted to know what causes abscesses and quarter cracks.
Abscesses and quarter cracks, they come with the seasons and weather changes and concussions to the foot. Some horses have unbalanced feet or don't have the most correct conformation, so when a horse's foot becomes unbalanced, it puts pressure in certain areas or exactly into one area of a horse's foot, and that will cause an abscess or even a quarter crack. There's a lot of things that can go into why a horse will have a quarter crack or why a horse will have abscesses too.
Well, thanks, Dean, for being with us today here, and I'll see you in the barn tomorrow.
Thank you, Jonas. It's a pleasure working with you. It's a pleasure being on your show today, and I can't wait to be in the barn tomorrow with you tomorrow.
Jonas, let's dive into some of the questions that the viewers asked us. What kind of shoe do you start all your babies in?
Most of the time, we start everybody out in just a half-inch, half-round with a flat behind. That's kind of the basic shoe that I start everybody out in, and then we kind of go from there.
All right. Dalton wanted to know, what kind of shoe would you put on a baby that is passing gated behind?
So I like my horses passing gated. So I mean, for a passing gated horse, I would just start with the same thing, just with a flat, and then from there on, I mean, maybe if they needed, move up to a full swedge. But I would just start a passing gated horse out in a flat shoe too.
Do you use predetermined length of the toe up front and behind?
So I mean, we keep an eye on what the toe length is and everything. I kind of like to keep my horses kind of where they want to be naturally, and I kind of tend to have a shorter toe than most people. So I mean, I think they just clear themselves a little bit better that way. So I mean, we're kind of keeping it to a little bit shorter than what most people would have probably.
Do you use razor shoes?
I've been trying racer shoes throughout the years. I've never really had any luck with them, but I'm actually trying it on a horse right now, and it seems like he's actually going pretty good in them. So I mean, I do try them from time to time. Yes.
Okay. Do you shoe a horse to correct issues? Say a horse is hitting his knees, or would you use equipment to fix that problem?
I mean, mostly as I can, I try to change the shoes. I mean, try to work with shoes on them to try to get them off their knees. I mean, try to get them over the knees or under the knees, or I guess different ways of trying to what would work for this particular horse to try to get them off the knees. I mean, I'm trying that as much as we can before we start going to severe with different equipment and everything. So yes.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of discussion on racing barefoot. Almost 75% of the questions that came in actually were regards to that. How do you feel about racing barefoot?
I mean, I do race a lot of horses barefoot. I mean, it's kind of like when they need to go back to the basic and everything. Like, I mean, it's sometimes if they're hitting a little too much or something like that, we try them barefoot, or just need a little more speed out of them. So we're just give it a try and try to help them out a little bit that way. So I do believe in racing barefoot. Yes, I do.
When exactly do you decide to race a horse barefoot?
So I mean, it's a little different from horse to horse. I mean, we had a horse, Dorsey, who we had her from 2 until she was 6. She we didn't race her barefoot until as a 3-year-old year in the Philly Futurity. I mean, we made it into the final, and we needed a little extra, and she was kind of constantly touching her knees and just didn't have enough room. So we gave it a try. We pulled the shoes and made a world of difference on her. I mean, she was parked every step of the way and finished second in the second heat. So I mean, it really helped her out a lot. And then after that, we just kept on racing her barefoot as much as we could. I mean, we raced her in the Emalula at Meadowlands, where she equaled the world record for 4-year-old mares on a kind of a off track on Hambo Day there, and it really changed her gait a lot when we raced her barefoot.
Dorsey has blown it wide open. It's Dorsey, appears wrapped up. A few cracks of the wheel disc here. Personal Style is up into second. Then it's Win Miss Seat B and Maven far back to the line. It's a romp for Dorsey, 17-1. Dorsey, can you say 151-4 equals the world record?
What track conditions are ideal for racing barefoot?
I mean, the ideal track is it's a fast track. I mean, no rain and track on a good day. I mean, that's your ideal for it. But I mean, it works on off tracks too. I mean, as long as you have the right foot, and I mean, like you kind of got to be prepared to be able to do it. And I mean, like we see here in Lightning Storm, we raced him barefoot in the Peter Houghton elimination, and the track wasn't exactly ideal that day.
On the outside, here comes Lightning Storm. An upset on the outside, and off stride goes Weingartner. It's Lightning Storm on the outside, possess the will. What a hunch bet here. Lightning Storm takes it.
Now, why does pulling a horse's shoe make them go faster?
I mean, they kind of get back to being more normal or natural. They can put their feet kind of where they want them and how they want them. So, I mean, it just lightens them up and get them to be a little more free.
Well, we have covered all the questions, and we just want to thank you all very much for tuning in to the 3rd episode of Fika with Jonas. And make sure that if you have any comments or questions, to go onto Facebook and Twitter at Team JC Stable and let us know what you think.
So I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and want to end it with one of my favorite horses racing barefoot in Kentucky, where she set the world record in the all-ridge trot for 4-year-old trotting mares.
Gaps away. Classic Martine and Charmed Life with some work to do. Excess cover for them, probably about 6 lengths from the lead. Be a Magician to the top, 3/4 and 123 flat. It's Be a Magician who's trying to edge away from the field. Now a length and a half in front. Mystery Woman trying to track her down on the outside. Classic Martine is coming on 3rd. Be a Magician. Mystery Woman gunning for a big upset. Mystery Woman is getting up. Be a Magician at the rail. It's Mystery Woman.